Futures and options on futures trading involve substantial risk and is not a suitable investment for all types of investors. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. When I use the word I in this video, it refers to what I teach in my charting course or what I author in my twice daily oral and written updates. Prices shown on charts and quote boards are in real time and take into account all known activity up to this point in time. And if you'd like to read more of this disclaimer, simply hit the pause key on your video player. Good morning, all. Ira Epstein of Lynn & Associates with your morning flash update for this Wednesday, the 7th of June, 2017, D-Day. Let us thank all of the vets who fought in that war, because it was the big one, for their, if you will, their bravery and making us, especially America, a free country. What about Europe? Same thing there. Okay, so looking at the markets today as we see what's going on, how do you play this becomes the question in front of the events tomorrow of the European Central Bank monetary policy announcement, the statement that's going to be made by Mr. Comey in the FBI Senate Intelligence Committee hearing, which we're all going to be listening to, and of course the UK elections. That becomes it. So what you had was a safe haven play on for the past 10, 15 days where people were selling the dollar, the euro was being bought, and the yen was being bought along with gold and bonds and notes. Now, if you look, other than the yen, which I don't think is going to be impacted today one way or the other, the euro dropped hard. It got down to 112.10. It's back up and only down 6 points, but it was down 60, 70 points. That's a big move. The dollar index still lower on the day, but not by very much, and the metal's fairly stable. So traders took a round of profit taking last night. Now the question is that going to continue or not? As we look at the energies at 9:30 a.m., which will be shortly after I publish this, what we're going to see is what the EIA said on the oil stocks. And that's going to be important because yesterday we saw a draw, which was very good on the crude. The negative, and it was big, was that in the gasoline, you built as much as you took out of the draw in terms of gallons. And then what you did is you had distillates build again. So the byproducts are building. We're not getting the demand for driving in diesel or gasoline that we should have had. It's not drawing on the stocks. That becomes problematic in the market. In the grain markets, we're getting a nice bounce. Part of it's being led by the wheat market, where now that the harvest is coming in, we're seeing that the quality is not there that the market was hoping for. Bad weather, if you recall, about a month and a half ago. Then the market sold off after that. Now we're seeing the quality concerns, and that affects the corn with it especially. You haven't had much of a bounce in cotton. I showed that today in my subscriber videos, that since you hit 87 cents, if you went up on one day 30, the next day you were down 60. So it has just sold off $12 roughly since that high. The question is, where does the market find its footing? I can't answer that for you at this point. When you look at the day's events, and remember, all of this means nothing going into Thursday where we have all that information. Germany showed the April factory order slid 2.1% lower on the month, well off. They only expected a decline of 0.4%. Halifax data today in the UK shows that we're getting the weakest annual rise in home prices since May 2013. With Brexit there and so many people saying that the way it's going, they're going to move the financial community in large parts out of London, you would expect that across the region there are problems. China getting a benefit from its tight capital controls. Now its reserves are climbing rather smartly. And guess where they're putting a lot of those reserves? U.S. Treasuries. You heard me. A lot of that money's going there. Building permits issued in Canada fell 0.2% on the month, according to Stats Canada. And they revised the amount of the drop last month. They kicked it up. It was originally revised down 5.8% in March. Now it's only 4.9%. And in the cocoa market, part of the problem that they keep having is low quality beans. Traders aren't bidding up for those, and that keeps the pressure on the market temporarily. So those are those events that are impacting those particular markets. I want to talk to you about seasonals, because this is where they kick in. I was just looking before I was doing this. You had a bunch of seasonals kick in on trades for the 6th of June, and there's another round coming right after them now, one after the other, a lot of different markets. If you know what a seasonal is, let me explain it. More research goes back and says, okay, on June 6th, as an example, you buy this commodity, sell that one, you do this one. They then break it down. If you did that, how many profitable days versus unprofitable days? What's the exit date? Based on a 15-year history. Now you might say, oh, that's phenomenal. Yeah, to a degree, it's a tool. But it's also not to be used on its own. Some traders do, I've seen that, but they themselves, and I've used this service, I can probably say over 30 years. And I use it to get along with what my other techniques are showing. And then if I see the seasonal is working, that's great. In addition, they have interactive charts on their website that you go to. So let's assume you're convinced that some market is in a bull year. You can remove the bearish years and see the time frames and where the surges in the market have come in the past. It's another trading tool. What if it's a year where you don't have anything going? You can look at neutral years. You can look at bull bear years. It breaks it down into different months, spread strategies if you want that, and special reports. It's all explained out, and they do a great job of doing that. As I say, doesn't mean you should use it, but if you want, they've made through us available a trial. You will get a user ID and a password. You go to their website, you're able to get it. You can print everything out that you want. And believe me, when I'm looking at trades, I'm looking at my sheet that includes some of that. It's just another tool. Call us. You can go to our website. You'll see more research. Underneath us on many websites, it says click here for Ira's free offers. That'll be one of them that you've got there, the More Research Center. Or if you're watching me on YouTube, just click right here. The form will appear. Choose what you'd want from us, and we'll be happy to put it in your hands. I'm Ira Epstein. I'll see you this afternoon. Have a great trading day.